Greetings, everybody. This is Christian. I'm a former evangelical fundamentalist. Now I'm talking about my deconstruction process and my deconversion. I want to jump on here and respond to a question I got yesterday from my very, very dear internet friend who I've never met, Funky Drummer 68. So they made a comment asking if I held on to any spirituality, or if I just like kind of don't go with organized religion in general now. And I thought that deserved a longer explanation, longer answer than I was going to write. So the answer is kind of like yes and no. So my deconstruction process was actually a really long time. It started when I was about 22, and I didn't officially say that I didn't believe in God until I was probably 36. So probably more like 30, 34, 35 when I realized I was like, I don't actually believe this. I didn't actually start admitting it to myself and to others until 36. So in the interim of those years, I did go through a good bit of like different ideas of spirituality. For a while, I kind of believed that God was sort of part of everything and we were all part of him. Kind of like a pantheist sort of view. So in that, I do think that there are some spiritual practices that are extremely useful. I talked in a different video about doing like Day of the Dead and remembering your ancestors and honoring them and things like that. There's also little things that I will sometimes do. I did this funny thing at the beach this year. I found one of those little shark egg sacs, and it looked like it hadn't hatched, and we found it on the shore, but it was still wet, so I figured it must have just washed in. So I took it and I weighed it out in the water, and I just said, in a very SpongeBob-y kind of way, "Oh, merciful Neptune, I have here one of your children, and I return him to you. Please grant me a good day in your waters," or something like that. Something silly and goofy, and I wasn't under any impression that Neptune was a real dude listening to me. But it was like kind of a cool way to like just bring my attention to the fact that I'm at the beach and I'm getting to enjoy the ocean and the sand and my friends and my family and my kids and all that. And I got to do a little thing where maybe I might have saved a shark. I don't know. So I'll do things like that and go into the woods and leave an offering for the land spirits, which is just like some oats or something for the deer to eat, It's not that I think that they have their spirits or that there are any like dryads in the woods or something. But I think it's a cool way to just recognize that you're in nature, you're a part of nature, and you're being grateful for being able to enjoy it. So there's silly things like that I still do. I also still believe in the power of prayer, but not really in the way that most Christians think. I think of it as prayer and meditation are very similar to me, where it's just quieting your mind and getting into like a space and focusing your intention on something. For example, if like I'm hurt, I can shift my focus from, or sick, shift my focus from whatever I'm doing out there to that illness. And maybe my brain will take over a little bit. Most of the stuff we do is pretty subconscious. So I think of prayer as just a way to, kind of kickstart your subconscious mind into working for you. And I think meditation has lots of benefits. And so yeah, it's like I have some spiritual practices. I still have. There's no real way to prove whether or not there's any kind of afterlife or any kind of beings out there that we would consider gods. I just don't believe in the ones that are taught by religions. So, yeah, I do have some spiritual practices. I do have the belief that there could be more. But right now, there's not enough evidence to convince me that there is more, if that makes sense. So, yeah, I think this would be fun to do more. If you guys ever have, like, just a specific question, I'd be really interested to do more of these. I'm going to be pretty open, besides, like, private stuff about my family and stuff like that. So if you have any questions you think to answer. Wow, the sun is coming in crazy over there. There was covered by clouds for a second. Wow. Anyway, let me know. Signing off.